Since this is my first talk with you, I'm not used to talking in front of crowds. So just if you will bear with me and lend me some patience. I've timed this over and over and over, and it's not 20 minutes, but it's close. And we'll work up to 30 or 40 minutes much later. I'm going to start off by reading a poem by Starhawk. It's called Community Means Strength. We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned, we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength. That joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing. A circle of friends. Some place where we can be free. That was from Starhawk, from her Dreaming the Dark, Magic, Sex, and Politics. My name is Charity Troyer. I'm a homeschool mom of 5. I'm an outspoken religious minority in our Bible Belt community. And also, as of today, president of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tullahoma. I couldn't do any of this without my village. Life takes a village. From the Igbo and Yoruba tribes in Nigeria, we hear the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. It's been mentioned everywhere from kitchens to play dates to a book by Hillary Rodham Clinton. But what does it mean? It means that children are not raised by parents alone. They're raised by grandparents, siblings, friends. They're raised by a whole larger community. You know what? Adults need these villages just as much as children do. We need the friends, we need the family, and we need the larger community. This concept never occurred to me until I began homeschooling our 5 children in July of 2013. I was in uncharted territory with a high school junior, a 3rd grader, a 2nd grader, a 1st grader, and one in kindergarten. Yeah, I saw your faces. You would think, being with them all day, my days would be full and busy, and they were. They were also overwhelming, they were terrifying, and they were lonely. There I was with the weight of our children's education on my shoulders, feeling lost and alone. So enter the Bedford County Homeschool Enrichment Program. This group of ladies became my lifeline. Finally, I had a group of women who I could talk to. I could ask them about curriculum. I could ask them about reading comprehension, that 4-letter word called math. Yeah, they helped with that too. The dreaded concept of socialization. I could talk to them about pretty much anything. I could share my kids' aha moments when they got something that took us forever. I could also talk to them about being paralyzed with fear of screwing my kids up. I could admit to them that I didn't know what I was doing, and that some days it's all I could do to fake it. Sometimes admitting it out loud helps, but sometimes knowing I'm not the only one helps too. In this group, are we all the same? No. Our paths to homeschooling had all started out differently. Our curriculum was different. Our whole approach was different. Our backgrounds, our families, just the way we viewed the world were all different. So how did this work? How could I even think that this group of women, these wonderful women who were also different than me, why did I think we were a village? Why did I think that I had found my tribe? Maybe it was because we all wanted what was best for our children, and we could see that in each other. But maybe too, it was because we wanted what was best for each other. We wanted each other to succeed. Here was, for the most part, a group of women who were more likely to admit that they were scared. Or they could say, you know what, girl, me too. When I said that today, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it another minute. Did we get along every moment? Are you kidding me? No, we didn't. because we felt comfortable enough with each other to be ourselves. I don't care who you are. No one is going to like you every minute of every day, and that's okay. So later that same year, I stumbled upon this small group of people in this little white house that had been turned into a Unitarian Universalist church. I had not attended a church for years before that because I hadn't found one that fit. The round peg in a square hole thing. Slowly though, these people became my village. I was embraced. I was held up. My joys and concerns became their joys and concerns. My ideals and opinions were challenged, and I'm a better person because of that. A friend of mine in my homeschool group once asked me about Unitarian Universalism. What do you believe? I said, well, I can tell you what I believe or what they believe, but it's all going to be different. Because in this church, we have Christians, we have pagans, we have Buddhists, we have atheists, we have agnostics, we have physicists, we have got engineers. All of you all think differently, and that's wonderful. Then I told her about talkback, how we have our talk, and then the beauty of this is we circle up, and we offer our opinions, we offer everything. We can sit and we can talk. And her question was, how does that work? How do you all get along so well, being so different without fighting? And I said, well, we just do. We're different, but we all care about the same thing. We care about each other. You see, the beauty of our church isn't that we don't. The beauty of it isn't that we don't have the same backgrounds, or the same ideas or talents. What brings us together is the fact that in each other we see community. We see a place to share our differences, to learn from one another, and to make our church or our village the best it can be for all of us. Time seems to be going a lot slower. Okay, I will admit that finding my village was equal parts luck and tenacity. For every person that I felt comfortable with, at home with, there were twice as many that I didn't. I did try a few other groups of homeschool moms before I found the one that stuck with us. It didn't click with the other groups, and so we left. There's no shame in leaving a group that doesn't fit you. You'll know your village when you see it. Sometimes it just works. You'll know your village when you feel it. It's the person you just met who you feel like you've known forever. Your conversations are peppered with, yeah, me too. It's that group of people who make you feel as if you can breathe again. In looking for your village, though, I will say you do need to keep an open mind. All too often, people discount a group before trying it because it feels or it looks too Christian, or it looks not Christian enough, or they're too crunchy, or they're not crunchy enough, or the people there are too old, or they're too young. The problem is, people want a group of people who are just like them. There are so many flaws in this, I can't even begin to start, but I'm going to try. There's no room to grow in those groups. You don't have anyone bringing in fresh ideas or new perspectives. It's like going to a farmer's market and everyone sells spinach. That's it, just spinach. Or going to a craft store and there's glue. That's it, just glue. I'll be honest, if I was in a group with just me, with a lot of charities, life would be less glittery. And I'm going to explain this. I don't do glitter. Okay? I love glitter. I think it's beautiful in projects. I don't do glitter. I just tense up when handed that little craft thing because it goes everywhere. And anyway, I am lucky enough to have people in my village who do glitter. Because life needs glitter. It's just not going to get it from me. Do you have to be an outgoing person to find your village? Do you have to be an extrovert or a people person? No. I'm an introvert. Days that are full of people take the salt right out of me. There are days, many, many, many days, when I would rather stay home because out here it feels too people-y. There's too many people, not enough space. But the thing is, you don't have to do a big thing to find your people. Sometimes it's as simple as showing up. I'm going to repeat that. Sometimes it is as simple as just showing up. Kristen Schell, a mom from Texas, did just that. While in high school, she was a part of an overseas immersion experience in France. She fell in love. She fell in love with the hour-long meals 3 times a day at tables that were filled with laughter and conversation. In her book, she says, and I quote, "France offered me a model of what could be." So fast forward 20 years later, she's a busy wife, she's a mom in the suburbs, and she's struggling with something that's all too common, a busy and hectic life. The French table was still in her mind, but it was now joined by calendars filled in, messy homes, not enough time, too much worry about the shoes in the hallway to invite people over, too much worry about the dishes. She called it a frazzled and distracted life. And about this same time, she read a Bible verse that stuck with her and wouldn't let go, and it was Romans 12:13. Take every opportunity to open your life and home to others. Take every opportunity to open your life and home to others. In her book, The Turquoise Table, I'm going to show this because it really is a beautiful book. She talks about her search for connection. Kristen quotes Francis Schaeffer, a theologian and founder of Labre Community. He says, don't start with a big problem. Start personally and start in your home. I dare you. I dare you in the name of Jesus Christ. Begin by opening your home for community. All you have to do is open your home and begin. And so she did. Kristen bought a picnic table. She painted it turquoise, which happened to be her favorite color. She placed it in her front yard. Not the backyard where all picnic tables live, but in her front yard. On pleasant days, she would sit at the picnic table and drink her coffee in the morning. Soon, neighbors who had been out for a walk began to stop and talk to her. It led to a place for people to visit and talk, really talk, not asking how the weather is, not just asking how's your day going and not expecting an answer, but it led to conversations, and these conversations led to connections. She found out that she wasn't the only person who craved that sense of connection. It sounds very simple, but you see what she did? She showed up. By having a table outside, she didn't have to worry about the house being clean before people came over. She didn't have to worry about the stacks of shoes or the sink of dishes. She has children. She didn't have to worry about that smell that she can't find the smell. Soon, these turquoise tables started popping up in different streets in her neighborhood, in classrooms, to foster that sense of connection, even in yards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. The table itself is a beautiful thing, but it's not the thing that makes it all work. It's the fact that people are showing up. Now, some people take their idea of a village a bit further. In the documentary Happy, it's mentioned that people who have a close-knit community are happier. There are co-housing communities in Denmark where multi-generational families live in complexes together. It's either on a plot of land with a lot of small houses, or it's in a development with maybe apartments. They live together, or they all have their own separate living areas, but they eat together. They take turns cooking for all of them. In the documentary Happy, a woman who was recently divorced with 3 children spoke about how this community saved her. She, at the time of her divorce, hadn't been working. So she was afraid that if she was in an apartment by herself with the children, she would just stay by herself. She had heard of these communities, so she went out to find them. And the beauty of this is, if one of her children falls down and she's not right there next to her, somebody else is there to help her. There are elderly people there who become foster grandparents to the children. The families have a support system every day, both the children and the adults. It's a village in every sense of the word, and they are there for each other. You see, that's what villages do. They come together for the good and the bad, the easy and the hard, the triumphs and the hurt. Our homeschool group that I was telling you about, we've lost the facilities that we've met in for the past 12 years. It was unexpected, and our hearts are broken a little bit. Currently, we have no facilities, but the village we've created is important to us, and we are stubborn enough to keep looking, to keep it all together. Our church, we're starting a new chapter. Our minister has retired, and as of today, we are a lay-led congregation. Will it be easy? I can't imagine it will be, but things that are as important as this rarely are. But we know that what we've created here is vitally important to each and every one. I lost each and every one of us. And worth the extra work it will take to keep this a community that we draw energy and nourishment from. What we have here is that important. And let's be honest, we can probably add that we're a stubborn group here too. And we will make this work. Why do it though? Why do I keep going on and on about a village? Humans are pack animals. Some of us are smack dab in the middle of everybody, and some of us are on the fringes, but we all do better with people. We live in a world where we can order food online and have it delivered without really having to see anybody. Where we can find out who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1973 in seconds on our phone, but we don't know our neighbors. We live in a world where, through technology, we are connected to countries around the world, yet we don't have a real connection to the people around us, and we crave it. We crave that sense of belonging. Dr. Karen Hall wrote an article for Psychology Today about belonging. She says, and I quote, "Having a sense of belonging is a common experience. Belonging means acceptance as a member or part. Such a simple word for huge concept. A sense of belonging is a human need, just like the need for food and shelter. Feeling that you belong is most important in seeing value in life and in coping with intensely painful emotions. A sense of belonging to a greater community improves your motivation, health, and happiness. When you see your connection to others, you know that all people struggle and have difficult times. You are not alone. There is comfort in that knowledge." End quote. Before all of this, if you had asked me what a village was, I would have said it's where Belle does her little song and dance routine at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast. Or it's one of those small English towns in a BBC show. But now, a village is a group of homeschool moms who, once a week, get together so that they can breathe and their kids can play together. It's a table in the front yard that invites someone to stop and to sit. It's an online gaming community. It's a farmer's market. It's a theater community. It's a Wednesday night discussion group. It's you. You are my village, and we are a village.